MHUR Ultra Rumble has been out for quite a while now, but there are still plenty of new players joining the game every season. Because of that, I thought now would be a good time to share some tips that can help make your experience a little easier. In this video, I'll be going over 15 beginner tips that every player should know. These aren't character specific tips, but rather general pieces of advice that apply no matter who you play. Most of them are gameplay related, while a few near the end focus on progression and getting the most out of your account. My name's Yestermorn, and if you enjoy content like this, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. With that said, let's get into it. Tip number 1. Pay attention to the color of a civilian shirt. This is something most players figure out eventually, but it's also something the game never really explains. Once you know it though, it seems pretty obvious. Civilians can spawn wearing either green or blue shirts, and the color actually determines what kind of team recovery drink they'll give you. Green shirt civilians give HP recovery drinks, while blue shirt civilians give GP recovery drinks. This can be very useful information, especially if your team is in need of a specific drink. Instead of rescuing every civilian you see and hoping for the best, you can prioritize the ones that will give you exactly what you need. Speaking of team recovery drinks, tip number 2 is to always let your teammates know when you're using one. Team recovery drinks are one of the best ways to support your team, especially when you're too far away to directly help them in a fight. If a teammate is low on HP or GP and trying to survive, knowing that a team recovery is about to go off can completely change how they play. Instead of retreating or burning through their own resources, they may only need to hold out for a few more seconds. Of course, not everyone uses voice chat, but there's actually another way to communicate this. If you open your item wheel and request more recovery items right before using a team recovery drink, most experienced players will understand what you're trying to say. Over time, this has become a sort of unofficial code within the community. It's not a guaranteed form of communication, but it works often enough that it's always worth doing. It's a small thing, but good communication can make a huge difference. Tip number 3. If you're having trouble finding enough civilians during your matches, or you just need one more revive card in the late game, this tip can be a lifesaver. Many players don't realize that civilians can actually be hidden inside destructible buildings. By attacking some of the large, damaged-looking buildings around the map, you can eventually cause them to collapse, potentially revealing civilians that were trapped inside. This is especially useful in the late game when most of the obvious civilian spawns have already been rescued and your team is desperately looking for more revive cards. I've had plenty of matches where a hidden civilian inside one of these buildings completely saved my team. These structures can be found across multiple maps, so it's worth keeping an eye out for them whenever you're passing through an area. Tip number 4 is one that I still see even veteran players overlooking, and that is using the item wheel. In Ultra Rumble, every second matters when you're trying to heal. If you're sitting at 1 HP, you never know when a random alpha or third party is about to finish you off, so getting your recovery item started as quickly as possible is extremely important. That's where the item wheel comes in. Using it is much faster than opening your inventory and manually selecting a recovery item, especially on console. Not only does it give you quicker access to your healing items, but it also makes it much easier to find what you're looking for in the middle of a fight. It may seem like a small thing, but saving even a second or two can be the difference between surviving and getting sent back to the lobby. Tip number 5. If there's one thing new players can do to instantly improve and start winning more matches, it's this: start using ability cards. Most players understand that cards matching their role can be used to level up their abilities, but what many newer players don't realize is that cards from other roles can be just as valuable. Each type of card provides a powerful temporary buff when activated. Yellow cards reduce the damage you take, red cards increase your damage output, purple cards improve your reload speed, green cards restore health, and blue cards increase your movement speed while also allowing you to wall run. Every single one of these effects is strong on its own, but they're even better when used to cover your character's weaknesses. If you're playing a character with poor mobility, carrying blue cards can make a huge difference. If you're playing a squishy character, yellow cards can help keep you alive much longer than normal. The best part is that you don't even have to sacrifice inventory space for them. Every player has 2 ability card sockets built into their inventory, allowing you to carry 2 cards for free. Most new players either ignore ability cards completely or forget they exist, which is a huge mistake. If you get into the habit of using them, you'll immediately have an advantage over players who don't. Tip number 6. Even if you aren't using ability cards from other roles for yourself, you should still be picking them up for your teammates. Ultra Rumble is a team game, which means your teammates' levels are just as important as your own when it comes to winning matches. A lot of newer players focus entirely on leveling themselves up, but that's a great way to make your entire team weaker. For example, if you're playing an assault character and one of your teammates is a rapid, there's no reason you shouldn't be picking up blue cards and saving them for them. The next time you're together, you can simply drop the cards and help them level up faster. The same applies to every role. If you come across cards that don't benefit you, there's a good chance they'll benefit someone on your team. At the end of the day, helping your teammates level up is helping yourself. A stronger teammate means more damage and a better chance of winning the match. Treat your teammates the way you want to be treated, and if you make the effort to level them up, they might just return the favor. Tip number 7. Your character's role actually means more than just determining what ability cards level them up. Every role provides a permanent passive buff to the entire team. Strike characters increase your team's damage, assault characters provide damage reduction, rapid characters increase movement speed, support characters improve recovery item effects, and technical characters increase reload speed. A lot of newer players don't realize these buffs exist, but they can make a noticeable difference throughout a match. Not only do the effects stack based on how many characters of a role are on your team, but running 3 characters of the same role grants an additional bonus as well. For example, a full strike team receives a 1.2 times damage boost compared to the 1.05 boost provided by a single strike character. Because of this, team composition is a little more important than it might seem at first glance. Running multiple characters of the same role can create some very powerful team-wide bonuses, although you do sacrifice some versatility in return. It's not something you need to build your entire strategy around, but it's definitely worth keeping in mind when choosing your character. Tip number 8. Sometimes going outside of the safe area is actually the right play. A lot of newer players avoid the storm at all costs, but the damage it deals isn't nearly as scary as people think, especially early on. Going into the storm can be a great way to escape enemies, heal up, revive teammates, or even grab extra loot. Sometimes it's actually safer outside the circle than inside it. Just be careful not to stay out there for too long or you'll start to take increased damage. Tip number 9. Utilize your invincibility frames. This is another mistake that a lot of new players make. The second they get knocked down, they immediately start mashing buttons to get back up as quickly as possible. While that might sound like a good idea, it often does more harm than good. If you always get up at the first opportunity, you become very predictable. Experienced players will catch on and start timing their attacks around your wake up. Instead, try mixing up when you get up and take advantage of the invincibility frames the game gives you. Use that time to reposition, wait for teammates to help, or buy an extra few seconds for a team recovery drink to go off. Those invincibility frames are one of your best tools. Sometimes doing nothing for a moment is actually the smartest thing you can do. Tip number 10. Use Plus Ultra correctly. Plus Ultra, or Plus Chaos for villains, is the most powerful ability in the game. Not only does it restore your GP back to full and knock back enemies, but it also boosts all of your abilities to Plus Ultra level for a short time. Most players know that your Plus Ultra gauge fills over time and by taking damage, but what many newer players don't realize is that teammates getting eliminated also charges it. When your first teammate goes down, you'll immediately gain 20% charge, and when the second one goes down, you'll gain another 40. Because of this, being the last player alive doesn't necessarily mean the match is over. It actually gives you access to the strongest comeback mechanic in the game. Even though Plus Ultra can make your attacks incredibly powerful, it's generally best used as a defensive tool. Since it restores your GP, you'll usually get the most value by activating it when you're low on health and about to be eliminated. A lot of new players pop at the moment they get it, but being patient and saving it for an emergency can often be the difference between staying alive and getting KO'd. Tip number 11. Check your character's skill details. If you find a character that you enjoy playing, it's always worth taking a few minutes to read through their skill descriptions. Most of the information in there can be figured out just by playing the character for a few matches, but sometimes there are hidden mechanics or interactions that aren't immediately obvious. For example, I played the game for months before I realized Assault Deku had an alternate version of his alpha while crouching. I probably never would have discovered it if I hadn't looked through his skill details. There are plenty of little things like that scattered throughout the roster. Even if you only learn one new mechanic, it can completely change how you play a character. So whenever you're picking up someone new, take a moment to check their skill details. You might be surprised by what you find. Tip number 12. Use rental tickets. Rental tickets allow you to play characters you don't own completely for free. You can hold up to 3 at a time and they slowly recharge throughout the day. Because of that, there's really no reason to let them sit unused. If you're thinking about unlocking a new character, rental tickets are a great way to try them out before committing your resources. They're also useful for learning how characters work and completing missions for characters you don't own. As of right now, they can only be used on original battle styles, not alternatives, but they're still a great resource for new players. Tip number 13, check a banner's drop rates before rolling. Once you've played the game for a while, the gacha system starts to make sense, but for newer players, it can be pretty confusing. If there's a specific character or battle style you're trying to unlock, it's important to know that not every banner contains every character. Rolling on the wrong banner can be a huge waste of tickets. I'm not going to explain the entire banner system in this video, but there's a very easy way to see what's available. Every banner has a drop rate section that you can view in-game. At the very top, you'll find all of the battle styles that can be pulled from that banner. There's an even easier method though. If you go to the exchange section of the banner, you'll see a handful of battle styles displayed there. Those are all of the battle styles that can be obtained from that banner. Before you spend any tickets, take a few seconds to check. It can save you from rolling on a banner that doesn't even contain the character you're looking for. Tip number 14, only roll when you have 2,000 tickets. Ultra Rumble features a pity system, which means that if you roll enough times on a banner, you are guaranteed to get what you want. This is where the exchange section we just talked about comes into play. Character battle styles cost 200 roll points, and since every roll gives you 1 roll point, you'll need 200 rolls to guarantee a battle style. That works out to exactly 2,000 tickets. The problem is that roll points don't carry over between banners. Once a banner expires, any unused roll points disappear. So if you spend 1,500 tickets and don't get what you wanted, you're left with 150 roll points that will eventually vanish if you don't reach 200 before the banner ends. Because of that, the most efficient way to spend your tickets is to wait until you have 2,000 saved up before rolling. That way, even if your luck is terrible, you'll still be guaranteed enough roll points to exchange for the battle style you want. Now, if you're a more casual player, I wouldn't stress too much about this. It's perfectly fine to roll whenever you feel like it and just have fun. But if your goal is to maximize progression and get the most value out of your tickets, saving up 2,000 before rolling is the way to go. Lastly, tip number 15, take part in events. This is one of the most important things you can do if you're trying to maximize your progression. Ultra Rumble regularly features free in-game events that offer a variety of rewards, including tuning materials, hero crystals, and sometimes even plus ultra costumes. Missing these events can mean missing out on a lot of free resources. The good news is that most of these events are fairly easy to complete. Usually, all you have to do is play the game regularly and you'll make progress without even trying. Because of that, it's always worth checking what events are currently active and making sure you're taking advantage of them. This also applies to agencies. Joining an active agency gives you access to agency events, which can provide great rewards. Even if you mostly play solo, being in an agency is still worth it for the extra progression. And that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully, at least a few of these tips taught you something new and helped make your time in MHUR Ultra Rumble a lot easier. Whether you're completely new to the game or have been playing for a while, there's still always something new to learn. If you have any beginner tips of your own, feel free to leave them down in the comments. They might end up helping another player out. And if you enjoyed the video, consider liking it and subscribing to the channel for more MHUR Ultra Rumble content. Thanks for watching, this has been Yestermorn, and I'll see you in the next one.